Hello and welcome to Melbourne 22. I'm Aaron McCarthy.
And I'm Kate Garrard.
Hold on, cut, stop, sorry, go. Who are you?
I'm Kate Garrard. I just said
Where's
that.
Anna? You're not Anna.
No,
No,
I'm
you're not
really
Anna.
not.
No. So I guess, ladies and gentlemen, our beloved Anna will be away for a few episodes throughout the season, by the looks of it, and this here is the result of that. Kate, supposedly. Maybe she'll stick around. Who knows? You won't, though.
Right. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for making me feel really warm and welcome to the show.
We didn't discuss this, so...
Right. All right. Well, we'll see how long I stay around. Anyway, tonight, we're going to explore Melbourne's theatre scene.
Yeah, we learn about another Melbourne-made marvel.
And we also get some healthy eating tips and talk about the upcoming Melbourne Marathon.
Well done, Kate. That's just a sample of what's coming up tonight on Melbourne 22. See, Kate, this is the part where we... In all seriousness though, Kate, welcome to Melbourne 22. It's good to have you along.
Thank you. It's really good to be here.
All right. So first up tonight, we delve into the world of theatre.
Yeah, it's something that's been around for centuries, but are ticket sales hurting the industry?
I think that Melbourne's the theatrical capital of Australia. I think that we've got a real cultural heritage here, and a lot of theatre has been developed in Melbourne, and a lot of theatrical styles and an Australian voice has come out of Melbourne.
I think for artists, Melbourne is a good market because we have a lot of diversity in the types of theatre being presented, everything from kind of the megaplex arena spectacular right down to the garages of Northcote. And I think in the same way, if you're looking at it at a financial perspective, passion for theatre and the activity of theatre breed more audience engagement. In some large-scale work, Melbourne is the first point of call because they're testing ideas and experimenting with an audience in a smaller market.
Theatre just has something quite magical about it in that, you know, once you get in front of a live audience, something lifts, you know, and particularly for young actors.
Because it's live, because it's risky, but most of the time it's because of the artists working in those ways. And I think what's great about the performing arts is that they're ephemeral. They disappear as soon as they happen, and they're very, very delicate. They need to be maintained every night. You're never going to see the same performance twice. You are constantly on your toes. You never know what's going to happen. And I think seeing live bodies in space performing to you and engaging in interesting ideas and interesting ways live for you is a very unique and special experience.
There is a bit of a dying audience, and theatre by its nature can be quite exclusive, can be expensive ticket prices and, you know, limited seasons and that type of thing.
I think the best way for people to support the theatre is to buy a ticket and to go along and see shows. It's kind of a no-brainer, but in fact, if you're interested in theatre and you want to know what's on stages and you want to know what people are talking about, the best way to find out is to go and to support artists.
I think it's important for us that young people particularly come and see shows. As a result of a young cast, we get young audiences coming to support their peers, and that has such a great knock-on effect. I think as long as companies embark on telling stories that are meaningful, then audiences hopefully will come.
Theatre will always find a way to survive. It's been around for millennia. As communities of human beings, theatre has been part of our fabric. It will survive by hook or by crook.
Well, it's great to hear that theatre is still alive and kicking in Melbourne. And here to discuss it further, we're joined by actor and director Jolyon James. Welcome to the show, Joel.
Hi, welcome, thank you.
Joel, thanks for coming along. Now, what is your take on the health of the Australian theatre scene at the moment? How's it going?
Oh, look, I think as actors we're inherently whingers about money and everything. But I'd have to say that Melbourne particularly, I've just been involved in a tour which has been all around Australia. And Melbourne seems to be a place that does actually really embrace theatre and new theatre and really interesting works at the moment. It's a great place to be.
And you've been in a lot of different productions over the years, like Shame on the Musical, and you've been on Offspring and Rush and a whole lot of things in theatre and film.
Yeah.
What are you working on at the moment, or what have you got coming up next?
I'm working with, this is a perfect discussion actually, I'm working with a Hayloft production, a Hayloft project, which are a Melbourne-based company that really grew out of the need for some really exciting, young, fresh ideas. They've done incredible stuff here and now overseas as well. And it's a show called Delectable Shelter, which is this kind of screwball comedy, crazy piece. But yeah,
fun.
it's great. It's very funny.
Now, Joel, you've got a pretty impressive CV as far as all of the acting that you've done.
I told you it's because I'm really old.
Well, you obviously live by the beach. The salt air doesn't quite young. Yeah. But you are a director as well. What sort of things have you been involved in directing lately?
Lots of stuff. Look, you've got to be pragmatic as an actor in this industry. It's a very small industry, so as many skills as you have are always useful. I'm also a photographer, so we create ads and photography and fashion shoots. We recently did Kate Sobrano's latest video clip, which we directed and wrote and produced ourselves. I work with my partner Raphael Ruse, who's my business partner. So that most recently is what we have been working on.
That's cool. Lots of different things that keep you busy. So what advice can you give someone who wants to start out as an actor? Because it sometimes can be a challenging path to tread.
Don't do it. I'd say. No, I love this.
If you want
an
money,
anecdote.
be a lawyer.
Well, I've got a friend who has 2 little girls, and he said he's ready for the day that his little girls come up and say, "Daddy, I want to be an actor," and he'll say, "That's not how you pronounce it. It's pronounced doctor." So,
Perfect.
Oh, look, you know, follow your dreams always, but it's a hard slog. It's not kind of the romantic image of, you know, young, beautiful people that you get on all your soaps and stuff. It's a really hard slog, and it's very rewarding, and I've had a lovely career and I've been very fortunate to do incredible things. But, you know, it's an art form that gets better as you get older, and you need to hone it and really work on it all the time.
Looking at the scene long term, how are we going to stop all of our great talent going overseas?
I don't know. I think there's part of an Australian kind of, I think the cultural cringe is still alive and well. We don't really recognise our talent until they succeed overseas. I think it's something that's always happened and will probably continue to happen. And I think it's great. We are a global market now, and it's fantastic seeing so many Aussie actors on big budget films and stuff like that. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us
You're
about
welcome.
that.
Well, now it's time to spend 60 seconds with a guide dog instructor. Let's roll the tape.
Who is it? What's that?
Hi, I'm Ron Hill. I'm a guide dog trainer with Guide Dogs Victoria. I've been here for about 3 years training guide dogs. Like everyone else, I've always loved dogs. When the opportunity came up to actually be working with dogs all day, every day, I jumped at that opportunity. We have to become certified or qualified as a dog trainer. Initially, I did 12 months with a senior guide dog instructor who did the practical aspect, and then there was also the theory aspect of there's a lot of quality control checks that we had to go through. And eventually, after about 14 months, I became qualified as a guide dog trainer. Most people that see you out in the street are envious and say, "Oh, it must be fun to, work with dogs all day." They give you so much more than you give them, basically, and just to have that love and affection when you come to work every morning and get a nice big sloppy kiss, nothing better.
Coming up next, dietitian Rachel Jeffrey tells us all we need to know about healthy eating. And we talk to Tim Crosby in the studio about the upcoming Melbourne Marathon.
Welcome back to Melbourne 22. How amazing would it be to work with those dogs all day?
Yes, well, we already work with animals here in the studio, so probably not much different. So, Kate, every week on the show, we've sent our crew out to ask the public the hard-hitting questions.
Yes, I have actually heard about this, and I think that the question this week is, what did you want to be when you were younger?
I was obsessed with motorbikes, so I wanted to be a postie on a motorbike.
Oh, very boringly, I wanted to be a librarian. I know.
I wanted to be like either a nurse or a pop star.
When I was younger, I wanted to be a hairdresser, but that's not the case anymore because I hate hair between getting hair between my fingers.
Probably the most obvious one would be a programmer, which is what I am going for right now.
I've always wanted to be a midwife and I'm studying midwifery now, so yeah.
I always wanted to work in a bakery to eat all the stuff, but I'm not.
An astronaut. I got there though, but I didn't actually get in and take off.
I always wanted to be a politician, and I still have a passion for politics.
Not profession-wise, but I did just want to be Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I wanted to be a fireman.
I wanted to be a Ironman champion in Hawaii. It didn't happen. Yeah.
All very interesting questions and very interesting responses. And I like the bloke who wanted to be a firefighter because for me, yeah, and I know it sounds cliche, but I did want to be a firefighter when I was younger. It didn't work out for me.
Most boys do, either firefighter, cop.
Yeah, I don't like smoke. So, and what about you?
Well, I wanted to be a vet, and then I realised I can't stand the sight of blood, so that didn't work for me either.
You should be one of those ones that doesn't have to ever operate or
yeah.
anything.
Maybe I should have done the guide dog thing.
A patting vet or
That's my
dog walker.
Yeah.
Now, Kate, if you don't mind me asking, are you a health nut? Like, do you scull 5 raw eggs for brekkie and then put it a few hours into, you know, the treadie, get the chia seeds out, vital greens, the rest of that, pump the guns like I do? You know how it is.
Not quite that much.
No? All right.
Yes, I'm into healthy
Whatever
stuff,
works
but
for you.
not the raw eggs.
Fair enough. Okay.
Right, well, no, I don't have the extreme diet, but I did go and meet with a dietitian recently.
Right.
Would you like to hear what she said?
Sure.
I'm here in South Bank, Melbourne with dietitian Rachel Jeffrey to talk about healthy living.
So someone can change to a healthy diet by looking first of all of what they're actually doing wrong in their diet, or perhaps the things that aren't so good. So first of all, work out what you're actually changing. And then the other thing too is don't change everything at once. Take one goal a week. So perhaps this week you're going to cut down on your meat serves and increase your vegetables and fruit serves, and make that your goal for the week. A healthy diet is actually quite easy to achieve, so it's making sure that you include a wide variety of nutritious food. But the other thing you really need to make sure is you're limiting some foods too. So those foods you're trying to limit are your saturated fats, your salts and your sugars.
Top 5 snacks. Fruit. Yogurt and fruit or a fresh fruit smoothie with low-fat milk. A small amount of mixed unsalted nuts and dried fruit. Cheese and whole grain crackers. Whole grain toast with low-fat dips such as hummus and tzatziki, or fresh avocado.
So parents are the keystone of getting kids growing into older adults to eat healthy. And what they should be doing is, rather than shooing children out of the kitchen, is actually encouraging them. If you say, what would you like for lunch? Would you like a chicken wrap, a salad sandwich or a rice salad? Then you're giving them a choice. They're still having a choice, but it's within your healthy boundaries.
Top 5 tips for lunch. Choose whole grain breads or cereals, such as bread, brown rice and quinoa. Include plenty of salads and veggies. Have lean meats and dairy, such as roast meats and low-fat cheese. Avoid heavy dressings and high-fat spreads. And drink plenty of water.
Exercise is walking, okay? It can be something as simple as that, getting off your train stop before work a few stops earlier. Ideally, all of us should have about 30 minutes of exercise every day, or at least 3 to 4 times a week. You can always eat the bad foods you love, but it's in moderation, okay? You still need to enjoy what we call your treat foods. The difference is, don't have them every day and have much smaller serves.
I'm a little bit hungry after all that.
Me too. Who knew that like healthy eating could be so...
Yeah, I know. You see all that delicious fruit?
So, well, now we know all about the eating aspect of healthy living. So in the studio with us now, we've got someone who's going to tell us about the exercise side of things. We're joined by Tim Crosby, who is the competition director for the Melbourne Marathon. So welcome, Tim.
Thank you. Now, Tim, can you tell us a little bit about your involvement with the Melbourne Marathon?
My involvement really around everything to do with the people. So I look after things like the elites, which is quite exciting when we bring these very fast Kenyans over to Australia, and dealing with some very good Australians as well, like Lisa Waitman's going to run this year, you know, Australian Olympian. I also look after things like the training series, the pacing groups on the day, the people with their balloons who set the pace, and you know, make sure everyone's sort of trying to hit their goal times on the day.
There's a lot of preparation that has to go in for training up for a marathon like this. What sort of preparation are these guys doing leading up to the event?
Yeah, well, to get ready for a marathon, which is of course 42 kilometres, does require a bit of work. You just can't go and do that every day. So normally you're looking at a bit of a base building period, and that's usually around your April, May, sort of into June. And then from July, August through to September, that's when you're really doing specific training for the marathon. So the mileage goes up, the intensity goes up, and then you get this lovely thing called a taper right towards the end of it. So the last 2 weeks, everything just comes back down again, and hopefully you're ready to roll for 42 kilometres on October 13th.
Wonderful. Now, there's been a huge increase in the amount of females participating in the marathon at the moment. What's led to this?
We believe that it is. A lot of females are really now looking at the healthy lifestyle options. We're also making sport a lot more accessible to females. As you know, most of the girls know, there can be barriers to sport, particularly with child rearing, trying to work in with the business opportunities that girls might have, and also some of the inherent fears like going out at night and training in the dark. So things like training groups and training squads are really facilitating females to get into the sport, and now we're seeing a very natural growth in the numbers come through.
That's great, yeah. I definitely join a training group to go run at night. Anyway, so as far as charity-wise, each year you guys do great things. So what charity are you supporting this year?
This year it's the Cerebral Palsy Education Centre, or CPEC. They're a world-leading organisation in the education and intervention on children with CPEC, and their key is to get those children mobile and communicating. And the aim of the program there at CPEC is to get the kids into mainstream education for a start, and then leading a happy and fulfilling life from there. So the work that they do in activating the children, getting them mobile, you know, achieving things like being able to either walk the 5.7 kilometres or even up to the 10K with their strollers, with their pushers, whatever they need. It's just an amazing job that they do out there, and some amazing people at CPEC.
Well, we look forward to seeing it again this year. Thanks so much for joining us, Tim. And for more information on the Melbourne Marathon, you can visit melbournemarathon.com.au.
You can. And what do you reckon, Aaron? Do you reckon you would try out for the marathon?
Oh, look, I'm more of a fast twitch muscle fibre sort of guy myself. I'm into the sprints and all that sort of stuff. But look, I love watching, you know, all the fit and healthy people.
You can be the cheer squad at the end.
Get me some pom-poms, sign me up. All right, well, we'll see you. We'll be right back after this.
Coming up next, you'll learn all about Vegemite, and the McQueens perform for us live in the studio. You're watching Melbourne 22.
How it all sort of happened. Welcome back to Melbourne 22. How are you feeling so far, Kate? You enjoying the show? That's good. So, as you know, Melbourne... No, really, how are you enjoying it?
It's good when I've got someone so talented here to help me through it.
So much. It just means a lot to me.
I mean all the producers and the crew and stuff.
I see what you're saying. As you know, Melbourne's known quite a lot for quite a lot of things. Does that make sense? Probably not. But that's how we just roll with things here at Melbourne 22. It's the culture, it's the coffee, to name a few. Things, circular, carousel, round and round, up and down. But do you know that there are quite a few inventions that have come from this very city of ours?
A very clever city. So we've already seen the clothesline, the rotary clothesline.
Yeah,
so
the old Hills hoist.
Yeah, what is it going to be this week? Let's have a look.
Australia's well-known spread Vegemite was invented in 1922 when food manufacturer Fred Walker hired a young chemist by the name of Dr. Cyril P. Callister to develop a spread similar to England's Marmite. Callister used brewer's yeast, one of the richest known natural sources in the vitamin B group, to create this pure vegetable extract. In 1923, Walker ran a competition to have the Australian public name the spread. Hundreds of people entered, with Walker's daughter choosing the winning name, Vegemite. In 1928, Vegemite was renamed Par Will in response to the success of Marmite, which was dominating the Australian market at the time. It was branded with the catchphrase, "If Marmite, then Par Will." The name Par Will didn't help increase sales, so it was changed back to Vegemite. In 1954, a group of youngsters burst into song on the radio to an upbeat jingle named Happy Little Vegemites. 2 years later, Kraft Foods developed the infectious song into a television campaign. 85 years later, a new product was created called Vegemite Cheesy Bite, aka iSnack 2.0. But we won't get into that.
Wow.
Who would know that Vegemite was so groovy?
Yeah, I know.
It had songs made out of it, dances.
Ice Snack 2.0, you know, the rehash of Vegemite. I'm sorry about before. I was a little bit flat and, you know, wasn't going really well on the show. So welcome back. This is Aaron McCarthy 2.0.
2.0 now, second edition.
Yeah, 2.0.
All right,
I was
cool.
in beta
I like
before,
this edition
but-
better.
Good. All right. Well, don't forget, people, that you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and now Instagram. #awesome. So,
Taking us out tonight, we have the McQueens performing their latest hit, Return to Laughter.
See what I did there? See you next week. This is Melbourne 22.
Return to laughter, and so we fell into the trap which took our fathers or so. They tell that I've seen light and I don't mind it. Breath to please and shake these empty walls. You know you were right. After all, don't you hold your head for things unsaid. Won't make this any easier, 'cause it wasn't very nice. But I didn't really care, 'cause your feet were on the ground and your words were everywhere. Deserted where, 'cause you don't think you need it now, when the choice is hers. She'll sow my words, increase the silence. Breath to please and shake these empty walls. You know you were right, beautiful. Don't you hold your head for things unsaid. Won't make this any easier, 'cause it wasn't very nice. But I didn't really care, 'cause your feet were on the ground, but your words were everywhere. Good.